In the Lesson 5.3 example, Getting Ahead with a Fair Coin, we're going to graph a binomial distribution, and we're going to do this two ways. Imagine we toss a fair coin 10 times, and we're going to let y equal the number of heads that we get. We want to make a histogram of the probability distribution of y, and describe its shape. To make the histogram of the probability distribution, we actually need the probability distribution, so we have to create that first. The first thing we're going to do is find the probability that y equals 0. That's the smallest number of heads we could get. By the way, this is going a little bit the long way. We're going to find the binomial probability that you would get 0 heads out of 10. And so we're going to do 10 choose 0 times 0.5, that's the probability of getting ahead, to the 0 power because we want 0 heads, times 1 minus 0.5, that's the probability of not getting ahead, to the 10th power. And you get this probability here. You can do the same number, or same process, for the probability of getting exactly 1 head. 10 choose 1 times 0.5 to the first, times 1 minus 0.5 to the 9th. And you get this number, 0.01. You can do the same thing for probability for y equals 2. Replace all the places where 0 and 1 used to be with 2. And you can go through and find all the probabilities this way. And that gets you your probability distribution for y. These are the values of y, and these are the probabilities that y will take that particular value. As for creating the actual histogram, we have this probability distribution now for y. The number of heads could be 0 through 10, and the probabilities were calculated using the binomial formula. We're going to label the axes as number of heads, which can take a value of 0 through 10, and the probability that you get that many heads, which can take values between 0 and about 25%. The highest number is right near 25%. The probability for 0 and for 10 are negligibly small, so you won't even be able to see the rectangles that I make on this graph. But once you get to 1, you can see that it's about 1%, so it's about a fifth of the way up to 5%. And if we go through, we can go through and make the bars of the corresponding heights. For instance, 4 goes up to about 20%. 5 goes up to about 25%, and then we can go back through. What we notice is the probabilities decrease at the same rate that they increased on the other side. So what we see is this graph is symmetric. It has a perfectly symmetric shape, and it's centered at 5. There is a fast way to do this. We can use our textbook applet at highschool.bfwpub.com/SPA3e. And what you get when you get to that probability page is you can select the binomial distribution and say that we want n equals 10. That means we're doing 10 flips, and the probability of success is equal to 0.5. And we can say plot the probability distribution for the binomial distribution when n is 10 and p is 0.5. When we click that button, we get the distribution, and you'll notice it's exactly the same distribution as we made when we did it the long way. Still symmetric, still centered at 5. If you'd like to try a problem like this in your textbook, you can try exercise 9 in this section.